Gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin for 5 minutes.
Few questions. Just doing a little bit of a check here. It looks like the Golan Heights is would be the equivalent of 24 square miles. I mean, 24 miles by 24 miles. I shouldn't say about 500 square miles. How many people live in that area right now? Does anyone know?
About 50,000.
50,000 people. And who lives there, if you had to describe them ethnically?
It's 30,000 Jews and 20,000 Druze.
Okay. No Arab, no traditional Arabs or
No,
non-Jewish Arabs?
virtually none.
Okay. Could you describe the economy of the Golan Heights?
It's overwhelmingly based on tourism. There's also agriculture, and now there are some clean energy industries being explored.
Could you describe the economy today compared to the economy 50 years ago?
The economy is vastly more developed. It's accessible to tourists. All of the infrastructure in the area has been developed by Israel since 1967.
Could you compare the economy of the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights to the Golan Heights immediately adjacent to it?
The Syrian Golan Heights is now principally a battleground between different rebel groups and themselves, and between rebel groups and Assad. It's a desolate wasteland.
I would say, could you describe the quality of agriculture on the area controlled by Israel compared to the area controlled by Syria?
The Israeli side produces internationally recognized, very fine wines. It's also the major source of Israeli beef stock.
Look a lot greener on the Israeli side?
It's a lot greener, and it's quite beautiful.
Why is that?
Because of the quality of the agriculture, the quality of the irrigation, and the lack of a prolonged ethnic cleansing process.
Okay. The people who previously were, obviously Syria has a problem that they are made up of a lot of ethnic groups, don't get along. The people who have left the Golan, how would you describe their ethnicity?
People the Druze on the Golan?
The ones who left.
So very few Druze left during the war. The Six-Day War ended too fast for anyone to really
Were there any
run away.
Did any people leave the Golan?
No, it was not a source of refugees.
Okay, so the same people are living there now who basically lived there 50 years ago.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Is there anything that could be done kind of short of full recognition that would be a step in that direction?
Several steps could be taken. Encouraging congressional delegations to visit is a simple step. Putting in the foreign aid budget for Israel an explicit permission for Israel to use money appropriated to it for defense and other purposes in the Golan Heights. Encouraging the creation of defense and research projects, joint defense and research projects in the Golan Heights, and modifying the U.S.-Israel joint science research agreements to explicitly allow the use of funds for research on agriculture and clean energy in the Golan Heights.
It seems to me a lot of anti-Israeli feeling in this country is focused on this boycott, divest, sanctions effort. How do they use the Golan Heights? How does this effort use the Golan Heights?
The Golan Heights is completely subject to efforts of economic warfare against Israel, while the BDS movement claims that their goal is Palestinian self-determination. The boycott aspect is applied 100% to the Golan, where there is no question of Palestinian self-determination. Crucially, United Nations resolutions that seek to promote economic strangleholds on Israeli territories apply to the Golan. EU labeling policies apply to the Golan, and there is no distinction made, even though there is no claim of self-determination or a right to statehood in this area.
Okay. Anybody else can jump in, too. Anybody trying to leave? I mean, you said we have 30,000 Israeli Jews in there and 20,000 Jews, is that right? Anybody trying to leave? Anybody unhappy that Israel's running it right now?
No, they're not unhappy. You only need to look at what's going on in Syria and see that they don't want to trade their status in Israel for Syrian citizenship.
Or Jordan or Lebanon?
Or Jordan or Lebanon, but
Nobody's
they have Syrian citizenship if they have kept their Syrian citizenship if they want to. Younger people are accepting Israeli citizenship, which is on offer. But those who haven't accepted Israeli citizenship are not doing it because they necessarily prefer Syrian citizenship. They've done it because there is a question mark over the status of the Golan, and it might go back to Assad. And if they choose Israeli citizenship over Syrian and it goes citizenship and it goes back to Assad, then they and their families fear retribution.
Okay. Guess I've used my 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Gentleman's time's expired. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Colorado for 5 minutes.